Now, what about the positive support version of the surething principle? Well, it turns out that we're going to be able to find a stochastic truth table such that the probability of Q given P and R is greater than the probability of Q given R. And the probability of Q given P and not R is greater than the probability of Q given not R. But it's not going to be the case that the probability of Q given P is greater than the probability of Q. That is, the probability of Q is going to be greater than or equal to the probability of Q given P. So, to illustrate what's going on, consider the following Venn diagram. So here we have the P region, and here we have the Q region. And suppose that we're wondering, does P raise the probability of Q? So we want to perform an experiment. We want to somehow determine, is P positively relevant to Q? Does it actually raise the probability of Q? Well, one way that we can do this is we can consider this other event R, and we can divide the space into the R region and the not R region. And then we can ask, is it the case that P is positively relevant to Q given R? If we restrict attention to the R region, is it the case that P is positively relevant to Q? Does it raise the probability of Q? And then suppose we find that it does. And then we can ask, what about the not R region? Let's look at the not R region now. So we'll consider what happens when we condition on the not R region. And we find that P does positively support Q given the not R region. So in both of these two regions, it looks like P positively supports Q. However, when we put the two regions together and we consider the whole space, it turns out that P does not positively support Q. So that's puzzling if you think about it from this perspective. And I'll say more about that in just 1 second. But first, let's just look at an example to illustrate how this can fail. Now, here we have a stochastic truth table. And in this stochastic truth table, we witness the fact that the probability of Q given P and R is greater than the probability of Q given R. And the probability of Q given P and not R is also greater than the probability of Q given not R. However, the probability of Q is greater, 0.725, is greater than the probability of Q given P. So conditioned on R, or given R, it looks like P positively supports Q. Conditioning on not R, or given not R, it looks like P positively supports Q. But overall, P does not positively support Q because it actually lowers the probability. Only by a little bit, but it lowers the probability. Well, let's just make sure, let's go run through these calculations real quick. So what about let's start with the probability of Q. Well, Q is true on these 4 rows. And we can see that if we sum up the probabilities, we get 0 plus 0.4 plus 0.125 plus 2, which is 0.725. What about the probability of Q given P? Well, P is true in these first 4 rows. 0.125 plus 0.75 is 0.2. Plus 0.2 is 0.4, plus 0.05 is 0.45. And the probability of Q and P is the sum of the probabilities in these first 2 rows, so that's 0.325. So you can do this calculation on your own, but 0.325 divided by 0.5 is approximately 0.722. And so here we see that the probability that P is not positively relevant for Q. It actually, when you condition on P, it actually lowers the probability of Q. What about these probabilities right here? Well, the probability of Q given R is true on these 4 rows right here. So that's 0.2 plus 0.05 plus 0.4 plus 0.11. So that is 0.25 plus 0.65 plus that's 0.76. And and Q and R is true in this row and this row right here, that's 0.4 plus 0.2. So that's 0.6 divided by 0.76. And if you do that calculation, it's approximately 0.789. What about the probability of Q given P and R? Well, P and R is true on this row, the first row, the third row here, and those are the only places where P and R is true. So the denominator is going to be 0.25. The numerator is P and Q and R is just that row, so that's 0.2. So that's 0.2 divided by 0.25, which is exactly equal to 0.8. I'll leave the verification of these last two conditional probabilities to you, but you can check using the stochastic truth table that in fact conditioning on not R, P is positively relevant to Q. So the failure of the sure thing principle for positive relevance is actually known as Simpsons paradox. Now, what is Simpsons paradox? So Simpsons paradox is this somewhat counterintuitive paradox that you find in statistics. To illustrate, suppose that the university is hiring some people in both the philosophy department and the mathematics department. And let's say that 13 men and 13 women apply for the job. Now, we would like to know, is there bias in the hiring practices of the university? So one way to do that is we can just go ahead and check. We can look at the math department and we can ask, of the men that applied for the job, how many got the job? So let's say that 5 men applied for the job and 1 person got the job. So that's 1 out of 5 got the job. 1 out of 5 men got the job. For the women, let's say 8 women applied for the job, but only 2 got it. So 2 out of 8 women got the job. But 2 out of 8 is greater than 1 out of 5, so the success rate is better for women in the mathematics department. What about the philosophy department? Well, in the philosophy department, 8 men applied for the job and 6 of them got it. So that's 6 out of 8. 6 out of 8 of them got the job. What about for the women? Well, the women, 5 applied for the job and 4 of them got it. So 4 out of 5 women got the job in the philosophy department. So if we ask to compare the success rate for men versus women in the philosophy department, we see that the success rate for women is greater than the success rate for men. So let's just, for simplicity, imagine that there are only 2 departments in the entire university, a philosophy department and a mathematics department. We look at both departments and we see that the success rate for women is better in both departments. And then we look overall. Well, overall, 13 men applied for jobs. How many people got it? 1 person got it in the mathematics department, 1 person got a job in the philosophy department. So that's 7 out of 13 men were hired. What about for the women? Well, 13 women applied for jobs. 2 got a job in the mathematics department and 2 got a job in the philosophy department. So that's 6 women overall that got a job. So that's 6 out of 13 is the success rate for women. So now we see that the success rate at the university overall looks like it's better for men rather than women. So this is puzzling. How can it be that each department favors women applicants? So women have a higher success rate in each department. However, overall, the men fare better than women. Overall, throughout the whole university, the men have a higher success rate than women. So this phenomenon, which has actually showed up in a number of real-life statistical studies, is known as Simpsons paradox. So now let's turn to the unconditional sure thing principle. This is the statement that if P and R is good evidence for Q, and P and not R is good evidence for Q, then P must be good evidence. So we're not conditioning on R, we're looking at the unconditional sure thing. Well, we've already seen that if we understand good evidence in terms of evidential support, that this statement holds. That if the probability of Q given P and R is greater than 0.5, and the probability of Q given P and not R is greater than 0.5, then the probability of Q given P must be greater than 0.5. But what about positive relevance? Is it the case that if the probability of Q given P and R is greater than the probability of Q, and the probability of Q given P and not R is greater than the probability of Q, then the probability of Q given P must be greater than the probability of Q? It turns out that this is true in every stochastic truth table. So you might want to pause the video now and try to justify this to yourself. Why is it that this equation or this if-then statement holds for any possible stochastic truth table? So let's see why this holds. Let's fix an arbitrary truth table. So consider any possible truth table where, of course, the probability of P is greater than 0, so these conditional probabilities are well defined. Now, let's suppose that the probability of Q given P and R is greater than the probability of Q. Now that's going to mean that the probability of Q and P and R is greater than the probability of P and R times the probability of Q. And also let's assume the probability of Q given P and not R is greater than the probability of Q. Now that's going to imply that the probability of Q and P and not R is greater than the probability of P and not R times the probability of Q. So now we have two inequalities, and what we're going to do is we're going to sum the terms on both sides of the inequalities. So the sum of the terms on the left-hand side of the inequalities is the probability of Q and P and R plus the probability of Q and P and not R. Now, Q and P and R is mutually exclusive with Q and P and not R. There is no row of any truth table in which Q and P and R and Q and P and not R are both true. So what that means is the sum of these two probabilities is equal to the probability of their disjunction. So it's the probability of Q and P and R disjunction with Q and P and not R. Now remember that we have this general fact that for any formula phi is tautologically equivalent with phi and psi or phi and not psi. Now, if we let phi be Q and P and psi be R, we see that we have Q and P is tautologically equivalent to Q and P and R or Q and P and not R. So that means the probabilities of these two formulas must be equal. Now, what about the right-hand side of the equation? Well, the right-hand side of the equation, we have this is greater than, well, we have the probability of Q times something plus the probability of Q times something else. So it's the sum of those two things, the probability of P and R plus the probability of P and not R, times all of that times the probability of Q. Now again, P and R and P and not R are mutually exclusive. So the sum of those two probabilities is equal to the probability of their disjunction. So it's the probability of P and R disjunction with P and not R. And this is all multiplied by the probability of Q. So this probability of this disjunction is going to be greater than the probability of the disjunction P and R or P and not R, all times the probability of Q. Well, again, using this fact that for any formula phi is tautologically equivalent with phi and psi or phi and not psi, this time we're going to let phi be P and let psi be R. We see that the right-hand side becomes the probability of P times the probability of Q. So we have the probability of Q and P is greater than the probability of P times the probability of Q. Well, if we divide both sides by the probability of P, on the right-hand side, the probabilities of P is canceled, so we get the probability of Q and P divided by the probability of P, which of course is just equal to the probability of Q given P. And on the right-hand side, we have the probability of Q. So we have the probability of Q given P must be greater than the probability of Q. And of course, this works in any possible stochastic truth table because I didn't use any particular facts about the probabilities. These all follow just from general algebraic facts using the definition of conditional probability. So to summarize, both the sure thing principle and the unconditional sure thing principle holds for evidential support. That is, if the probability of Q given P and R is greater than 0.5, and the probability of Q given P and not R is greater than 0.5, then the probability of Q given P must be greater than 0.5. But the sure thing principle does not hold for positive relevance. That is, I can find stochastic truth tables where conditional on R, P seems to be positively relevant to Q, and conditional on not R, P seems to be positively relevant to Q. But overall, P is not positively relevant to Q. P does not raise the probability of Q. And witnesses for this fact right here is sometimes known as Simpsons paradox. However, if we consider the unconditional sure thing principle, then this does in fact hold for positive relevance. That is, if the probability of Q given P and R is greater than the probability of Q, and the probability of Q given P and not R is greater than the probability of Q, then it must be the case that the probability of Q given P must be greater than the probability of Q. And this holds in any possible stochastic truth table, assuming, of course, all of these conditional probabilities are well defined, so that the probability of P and R and P and not R, those are all non-zero.